Hi students, drawing an apple and shading it. To draw an apple, first I am taking a line in middle because apple usually we draw in symmetry, so that I am taking a symmetry line, one line, and dividing apple over the sides equally like this. This way must be equal both the sides, and this portion here, this middle a shape must be a bit down, and sides it must be a bit up like this way. And here we have to draw this small stem kind of shape here. This one you should not draw at the edge of the apple like this. It must be from inside. You must draw this from inside of the apple, from here, not from edge. From the edge, don't do from the edge. Okay. After drawing an apple, just erase this middle line neatly and erase it. After erasing it, just draw a leaf. First you take a line here and draw a leaf this way, like this. After drawing it, shading we can start now, but before starting shading, just see here, when you want to shade lighter lines, that gap you have to leave more. The gap between lines it must be more, and lining must be very light. You are not supposed to keep more pressure. This is one way. Another way is, even if you draw lines closure also, it must be like very lighter. Don't keep more pressure on the pencil, just touch the paper surface to get lighter like this way. Okay, so this is one lighter method and this is another method. So if you feel it is looking little bit darker, you can go for this lighter shade method by leaving gaps between the line. And next, if you want to do little darker, this line gap you can reduce like this. You will get little darker than this, and by leaving more gap we are getting lighter, by leaving medium gaps we are getting medium tone, and without gaps we are getting little darker tone. If you apply more pressure, you will get darkest, means a very darker tone like this. The same way without gaps, if you keep more pressure and draw strokes like this, it is darkest tone. These many levels we can use to shade. Basically I am using now just Apsara extra dark pencil, or any dark pencils we can use, Camel or Apsara, any one pencil you can use. The dark pencil you can use, even 2B pencil also you can use. Just using one pencil, how we can shade, that I am going to show you now. First here you draw, just mark lightings called highlights, where the bright portions I am marking, because the light source from top little this side. So when we taking light source, where we have to just leave lightings, that way lightly I am leaving here lighting, and here some lighting I left. Marking must be very light, because this outline should not dominate our shading, so that very lightly you have to give outline for these highlights. After doing it, I'm starting with the lightest shade. This one I'm going to take, this one medium shade I'm taking. Okay, medium tone I'm starting, like using one kind of angle. This strokes must be in one angle, same angle. You should not do randomly, like sometimes this way, sometimes this way, sometimes this is wrong process. So always follow in one angle, either slant or straight or sleeping, any one angular curve. You follow the same method. Don't change the angle randomly. It looks very like clumsy and don't look proper. Okay, first I am using this medium shade this way, using less gaps. By leaving this highlights, this lightings, this area I'm not using any linings, like I'm not doing any lines. That is highlight, those highlight areas I'm not filling any shade. This way I'm using slant strokes. The same even tone I'm filling this entire place. This way can use from below to above, this kind of angles, or above to, that is depends on your comfortable, but this line angle shouldn't be uneven, just evenly. And shading also, try to shade evenly, like this way. So medium shade, you can repeat shading if you don't satisfy with the even level. To make it even level, again you can repeat strokes on completed area. So here I didn't I felt that it is little lighter, so that again I am repeating lines on this, like that. You can repeat lines. This line ending and starting should not be clear like this. It shouldn't become like that. If you shade, if you keep more pressure and if you shade, this endings looks very clear. The shading must be like this. Endings must be very very light, like this. Okay. End of the lines, end of the strokes must be very very lighter. This way, the first level of shading I completed. Now I am doing next level, little darker shade. The same angle I am using again, like this. little darker here and here like this. And this portion here we are getting some lighting, and this lighting you can make little dull by giving some strokes on that lighting like this area. And here in middle this portion. If you hold pencil at the end at last, don't hold pencil here. You can't give a long stroke like a lengthy strokes. Hold pencil here to give easy strokes. Easily you can give strokes like this. This way, this portion I shaded. Even here also I am going to shade in same angle. Like this till here. And next here at the edge, like this. This way a second level of shading is done. Now I am doing third level of shading. Third level again, this kind of darkness I'm trying to do like this. I'm repeating again to increase the darkness here. See, every time I am using the same angle, not changing this angle. Here little darkness I am increasing. This way. And here also I am doing little darker shade. Till down. This endings shouldn't be clear, and this shades should blend with lighter shades. Suppose this is the lighter shade. In this, when you're doing another level of like darker shade, it must look like this. Means this ending of this dark shades should blend with below light shade. This below light shade and this darker shade should get blend here. It shouldn't be clear like this. A separation shouldn't be clear like this. It should blend this way. A lighter shade and above darker shade, both the shades should blend. The sharp endings should not be visible. This kind of shading you don't do, just blend the shadings. Mix. By balancing pressure on pencil, that is possible. By balancing pressure on the pencil, it is possible to blend with lighter and darker shades. Increasing darkness like that. After here also I am doing same way. First I am increasing the shade, yellow shade, and doing till darker shade here also, this portion. Take a reference of any one apple and observe the light and darks. After, if you try this, you'll understand more. Instead of doing direct by looking this video, if you observe once apple, after do it, then you can do more better. Because when we shading any object, whatever the 3D feel is there to that particular object, we have to feel first, then we have to shade. Without feeling 3D, the dimension won't come properly. So feel the object exactly, how the shape, what are the depths to the object, how to balance light and dark, everything, and what is the light source, every aspect of the observation you have to develop. This mainly to shade we need to observe the object very keenly. This way this portion is done. Now above portion I am going to do. First here beside the stem I am doing some dark. See, after doing this area only, that apple looks natural. Without doing this shading, this portion, this won't look proper. After doing this area only, the apple drawing and shading looks natural, like this. Here I am doing shadow of the leaf. This below leaf shadow we have to do. This way. After here, like this, in the same way, other side, this kind of line. Leave this some lighting here, and continue shading like this. Here you increase bit darkness. Here let's shade this stem. And just give finishing by to avoid these rough edges. This kind of lines use. Neatly you shape this like this way. Little edges. After shading we'll find some rough edges. To make it proper, just give clarity. Don't give darker line anywhere. Like darker outline you don't do. Like this kind of darker outline you are not supposed to give. If you give the darker outline, that naturality of the shading or naturality of the object will miss. Like this. Like this. Do shading with more observation. Like this. And here now I am doing leaf. This is the above portion of this stem, and below from sides you have to shade like this. So this top portion you have to leave some lighting, and here you have to shade and do like this. After I am doing leaf, first you draw this vein in the middle. This portion you shade a bit, here you shade, and these endings you do lightly. This dark endings you make it light by extending these strokes like this. Lightly you do this. After just shade here medium level, okay, like this. Here little darker you should. Here already we have done the shadow, and the shadow we did like till the stem shadow we did this side to separate this this part and other side part. Here we shaded this, and after doing this, here some darker shade you do little darker shade here, and very darker shade here to show this leaf attached to this stem. Like this, and here lightly you do the stroke this way. Now finally shadows of this apple. Here give some darker line to separate apple and this bottom and this bottom surface. Separate with the darker strokes. After here give some I'll erase it first. Because surroundings must be very neat, then only this object will highlight. So that whatever the methods I have shown this side, I am erasing it. See, this much darker, after erasing also it is not going. So that don't use such kind of darker lines. Okay. After that, here I'm just doing some shadow of the apple. Till here only it must be darker. That side, when we're doing other side, little above the shading, it must be very light. The shadow also very important. For the objects. Here down gradually, if you want to continue a bit down, it must be slowly lighter, endings all the edges, the shadow must be little lighter like this way you can do apple drawing and shading. This kind of practice will help you in other drawings also. So when you doing, very carefully observe the light and darks of the object and do it. Better to practice from live, means by keeping any one object in front of you, observing it and doing, that will help you lot to understand more about the shades instead of drawing from the any copying any other drawing. Okay, try this and understand better, and further drawings we can do more better. Okay students, bye.